Yo guys, welcome to my 2025 camera settings video. This video I'm going to be going over my camera settings, my dead zone settings, the sensitivities I use, and then I'll show you some of my other settings as well just to know my preference on these. Okay, so to start with we will look at the camera settings. As you can see here, for field of view I use 110, for distance I use 260, for height I use 90, for angle is -5, stiffness is 0.60, swivel speed is 3, transition speed is 1.80, and demo transition time is 0.75. I have camera shake off. You definitely want camera shake off, don't have that on. And I also have invert swivel off as well. So for specific settings of camera settings, like distance for example, people usually use around 250 to 290. It doesn't usually go higher than that or lower than that. Everyone just sticks around 250. 250 is really nice for dribbling and flicks because you're very close to the ball and the camera is very close to your car, so it's really nice for keeping control in these situations. It's also nice for like double taps and things like that because you can almost like track the ball way easier because of how close your car is to it, or your camera is to it, I mean. Because it just seems like you have so much control of the ball because of how close you are to it, and it makes mechanics really easy. Like now if I go from 250 to 290, I feel so far away from my car and the ball, and I lose like an aspect of control just because of a camera setting change. For me personally though, I sit at 260. I think 250 is a tiny bit too close to the ball, like where you can't actually see if other people are challenging you past it in ones a lot of the time. And then anything above 260, other than 270 is okay to be honest, but anything above 260 is usually a little bit too far away from the ball for me. Whereas when I change the camera back to 260, as you can even see there in the background, it just doesn't feel as close and it feels like I can read the opponents way better if I was getting challenged. I know people may say like, why don't you play higher if that's the reason? But overall I think mechanics are actually worse when I go over 260. Like every time I've changed in the past to like 270, 280, 290, my mechanics do fall off a little bit, even though my maybe dribble game is better. But I'd say 260 is basically where I'm happy. I probably didn't help myself by hitting a flip reset as I'm saying that mechanics are a little bit worse, but I'm not saying I'm useless with mechanics on 270, I'm just saying I feel a bit more comfortable on 260. I went straight to distance because I think it's a really important one. This one gets changed more than any other one, I'd say. So I think if you go into training and maybe 1 or 2 games on each one of these, 250, 260, 270, 280 and 290, and just see what one you prefer. Overall, I've been on 260 for about 4,000 hours now, and I probably am never going to change again. Okay, now moving on to field of view, we can cover this one really quickly. Anywhere between 108 and 110 for me. Personally, 110, I've never moved from 110. I have seen a few high-level players go from 108, 109 and 110, but personally it's 110 for me. Anything like 108 or maybe even lower just feels way too close to the ball. I think it's a perfect angle, like on how far away you are from the ball and also how much control you have over your car, but I've genuinely never changed from 110, so that's all I can recommend to be honest. Okay, now moving on to height. Height is probably anywhere between 90, 80 and 100, around there. I use 90 because that's what I feel comfortable in. To be honest, I haven't really changed my camera settings in years, so these camera settings you see here is basically everything that I've liked for a long time, and a lot of them come with just game time and being comfortable with what I use. But I did a couple years ago pick out these camera settings to specifically grind with for a long time because they felt really comfortable. So if you feel like you're at that sort of stage right now where you're picking your camera settings that you're going to grind with, then make sure you do put a lot of time and thought into it. For me, for height, I just think anything over 100, I'm way too high up. Like my car is way too far down. I lose control again. Like anytime I go to the ball, I feel way too far away from it or just way too like high over it. It's basically the same thing again. I just feel way too high up. I will say for dribbling, it's actually quite nice because you really can see if like your opponent is challenging like really quickly. But I'd say like anything mechanically wise, like I completely lose control a lot of the time, and I definitely wouldn't recommend going over 90. 80 for me isn't too bad, like mechanics stay solid, but I'd say the dribble game and just the ground game in general really falls off. That's why I like to stay on 90 because I feel like I still have good mechanics and then I still have a solid ground game as well. Okay, now for angle, for me, I play on 5. I feel like anything above 5, like you're a little bit too far over the ball. Like especially like this, I feel like you're way too far over the ball. And this, I mean, it's good for dribbles because like you can basically see like basically the whole pitch past the ball. So you know like if you're getting challenged or anything. I really wouldn't say it's great for aerials. Like I just feel so far away from the ball. I feel like I lose control of like all my aerials. And it's a similar thing going the other way. Like if you're like 3 and down, I feel like way too flat on the ground. Can't really control the ball that well. I feel like I can control it more than if it's higher. Like the lower it is a little bit easier than the higher it is for control. Like I know I'm pretty sure a few freestylers use quite a low angle, but for me overall I think 5 is the perfect medium. It's not too high, it's not too low. You can really keep control of aerials, and also like the ground game is solid as well. I feel like 5 lets you see just the right amount when you're dribbling and things like that. And then of course with like airplay, I think it's basically perfect for airplay as well. Okay, now moving on to stiffness. Stiffness is actually way more important than I used to think. Like I genuinely used to play on like 0 or 0.10 and wonder like why my gameplay and why my car looked so ugly. Like, you know when you can sort of tell like a clip or something looks ugly? Honestly, it's the stiffness that they have. Like my car is so far away. When I flip, like I can see my whole entire boost. My speed flips look a little bit like, I don't know, they just look a little bit ugly, don't they? Come on, we can all admit it. And it's not just that, it's like dribbling, I feel so far away from the ball. Aerials, I feel like I can't even control it because of how far away I am. Like I completely miss the ball there. I don't know, I just feel like so far away from the play that I just have no control over anything, because at all times I'm just so far away. Like it's really hard to control something when it's so far away. And that's why when I changed to 60 and I got used to this, it just feels so good. Like I feel like I'm perfectly close enough to the ball to actually be able to control everything. But I'm not too close to where everything gets a little bit like hard to understand or like in your face. I feel like it's a perfect distance to like understand every single thing that's going on and have really good control with everything that you're doing. You can also actually have gameplay that looks good, because for some reason the low stiffness gameplay just does not look good. Like I don't mean to call you out right now if you're a low stiffness player, but I'm pretty sure you do know what I'm talking about. Like your car just does look a little bit ugly. Like I'm not even saying the design of the car is ugly, I'm just saying like the way your gameplay looks and the way the gameplay looks when you have low stiffness. For me anyway, I just think gameplay looks so much better when you have a higher stiffness. And for me, like anything over 60 is just way too close. Like you're way too close to the ball. Like it's okay for like dribbling and stuff, I'd say, and maybe like close aerials. Like if you're practicing like multiple flip resets or something like that, I wouldn't say it's too bad. But for me, it's just a little bit too close, especially in game as well, when you've got so many things that like you need to see from a distance. I feel like having a stiffness like this is just way too close. That's why for me, I definitely recommend 60 and that you grind with that. Okay, now moving on to probably the easiest one of the bunch is swivel speed. This is complete preference. It's just how fast your right stick moves when you hold it left or right. Like if you want to go to 10 and if you can read things that are that fast, then you know, you do you. But for me, 3, it just fades over there quickly and then it comes back. I like it. I feel like I don't lose control. Just fades over there, I can see, and then it comes back. Like for example with boost, if I needed to check that mid boost was there, I could just see it quickly and then it fades back. Don't lose control, I don't lose like sight of the ball or the play or anything. I can just quickly check something and carry on with the game. I'd say it does have quite a big impact on like awareness and things like that. So I would say it is a little bit more important than I am making it out to seem. But overall, I can't really just tell you what swivel speed to have. I think it is just preference. But for me, I'd definitely recommend 3. And then it's kind of the exact same situation with the transition speed. It's just how fast you want your ball cam on and off. Like some people play on 1, like I have it here. To be honest, on the ground, it's not too bad. But then when you take it into the air and you're like flicking ball cam on and off, it's way too slow. Like if you're actually trying to make a play, like an air dribble or something, and you need to check something, it takes ages. I feel like I've lost control before I've actually got the ball cam back on. So like I know in 1s, especially like when I'll go up, I'll flick it on and off to see like what the opponent's doing. But it's so slow. I feel like I've already like lost control of the ball, or I'm going so slow that it's just an easy save. So I wouldn't even say it affects much like just on the ground, like flicking ball cam on and off. But now on 180, like I feel like it's very quick. It's not even too different, like on the ground. Like, yeah, it's quicker, but like on the ground, you're probably not going to be somewhere that like you need to have it super speed anyway. Yeah, so for me, I switched it back to 180 because that's what's comfortable. Like if you were going for an aerial and needed to check something quickly, I feel like you still have full control and you don't lose control just because of how slow it takes to go back to the ball cam. I feel like even with double taps and things as well, the quicker the ball cam gets back on the ball, you can basically have a better read of your play. Whereas I feel like with a low transition speed, it just takes so long to regain like control of the ball and where it is, and it just feels way too clunky for me. So I feel like for me, don't go below 160. Obviously I'm on 180 and I think that's solid, but I just wouldn't recommend going under 160. I feel like anything under 160, you basically lose an element of control and speed in your game that will be really useful in high level matches. Okay, in demo transition time, that's up to you. I haven't really got any advice for that. You can just choose some and test some out. I use 0.75, I think. I don't even know what I use. I don't really think it matters too much. Okay, moving on to controls. My steering sensitivity here is 2.20. My aerial sensitivity is 2.20 as well. I really recommend having these two as the same. Again, for me, just always looking for that element of control in my game. I feel like having these two the same is really important to have control with your car and the ball, especially with mechanics and even like speed flips and things like that. You really get into a rhythm of how much you turn and how much you need to move your joystick when you do just normal things in the game. And when these two are the same, I feel like it's just so much easier to build that control and build that muscle memory. And then controller dead zones, for me, I use a PS4 controller. I have this at 0.05 and I have this at 0.50. And to be honest, I haven't like backflipped accidentally in years, to be honest. I used to do that all the time, and I don't know if that's just because I've got like 10,000 hours on the game now. It probably is. But these, ever since I switched to these dead zones and I got used to them, I just haven't had backflip problems in so long. Now into controls, this is completely up to you as well. Like I still have power slide on square, which I know a lot of top level players don't. And to be honest, I wish that I didn't have it on square because sometimes it does get really awkward to use. But I've had these controls for so long that I basically just haven't changed it. I don't necessarily think it's like a downfall in my game because I never think, oh, if only I could hold power slide there, I wouldn't have conceded that goal. But I do think not having it on square would be a little bit more useful in just certain situations. It's mostly mechanical, like, you know, when you're doing an aerial and you just land on the floor and you hold power slide for a little bit more speed or to not get like your car stuck or something. That's probably the only thing I would say I would change in my controls. But yeah, I'm 10,000 hours into using square as power slide now. I'm probably not going to change it. It's not really something that keeps me up at night, you know, that my power slides on square. But overall, I'd definitely say air roll left and air roll right, you have to have bounded and definitely get used to at least one of them. If you want to like be in the upper class of mechanics, then get used to both of them. But yeah, for me, air roll left was the one. I have it on R1. I basically use it in every single aerial I do. Air roll left for me was just the one that I mastered and I put basically all my time into when I was learning it, and now it is just complete muscle memory and it is literally used in every single aerial that I do. And of course there's still improvements, like there's always improvements. It's basically a game that has no skill cap, but for me, I'm just so comfortable with aerial left now that I feel like I really have mastered it. Whereas aerial right, I only really use it for like recoveries and things like that. I still don't really use it for like any mechanics or anything. I know that some players have started to learn both ever since like Zen said that he does both. But in my opinion, I would say just master one and then go and try and master the other one. So that's basically everything. I'll quickly just show you some of my settings for these. I have everything ticked here. I know these don't really change much. I would say to have your nameplate scale on 160 though, because they're basically the perfect size where you can see them over the ball if you're dribbling. And you can sometimes tell like if you're getting challenged on a dribble or something like that. I would definitely say have the nameplate scale at 160. And then video, this is just preference as well. Like, to be honest, I would say have these all unticked. Your game just looks so much smoother. But again, this is just my opinion. And then audio, that doesn't really matter. So that is basically everything. Do let me know in the comments though if this video helped you, and also like if you're going to try these camera settings out. And let me know if you do try them out, like how you get on with them, because I would be interested to see like if my camera settings were really good for other people as well. Because as I said, I've been on the same camera settings for so long now, I feel like a lot of the stuff I'm just really used to. But I think overall, as camera settings go, like they are really solid, and they will probably elevate your game if you did get used to them. And as I said as well, there's so many in there that you can basically just take advantage of in so many ways. So yeah, make sure you comment down below and make sure you tell me like how you're getting on after a couple days. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.